if we had to kind of point at some of the key things we did, and maybe you can help remind me, or you did, I should say, what were those things that you think really contributed to growth? Maybe we could just talk about those for a bit.
I think some of it, from the very get-go, you mentioned EOS, and a lot of the EOS stuff resonated with me from other things I've done. Like I mentioned, from a mental standpoint, like we're doing a little thing at the beginning of the year with clients that are interested in kind of going to like the mental performance stuff. The MVP process is that, right? It's mission, vision, and principles. Well, that's really sounds very similar to EOS too. So it's just applying those principles to business. So that really resonated with me from the get-go, and like going back to like really getting congruent with what my belief systems are and the vision and mission for the gym. I think that was first part that really kind of got me, and it's really why we rebranded the name of the gym Optimization Lab, because even though we have different paths, to me, it's really about, for me, ultimately helping people optimize their lives. And, we call it closing the gap between where they are and where they can be. And so for the fitness part, the Fletcher Fitness, which is the high intensity training part, the quantified strength training, to me is a path, right? So that was really kind of the first kind of big piece. And then just creating systems. I would say the next piece of that is just trying to really create systems within each of those programs as best as possible to help them, run as efficiently as possible. Like in our jiu-jitsu program, they started kind of doing that through our, association there. Whereas used to be, I think we talked about it with your interest in jiu-jitsu, is like, I said, try to find a place that has a beginner curriculum. It used to be everybody would just go in and beat the crap out of each other and see who survived, right? So that was fun.
I'm really glad I spoke to you first about
that. But now we have a much better system for our jiu-jitsu as well. So I see it in that business also. And I would say those, the two main things, and then delegating. I think that would be the other. Like, like I said, I've got great people and trusting them, to do the job, and then just trying to, be able to support them as much as I can. Because for me, it's another level of coaching. It's like, rather than coaching the client, if I can coach the coach, then I still get to fulfill that part of me that I love doing, but it's just from a different, different perspective.
Yeah, well said. So I know people are probably listening to this thinking, okay, great. Yeah. So you did some delegation. Okay. You got some focus in the business. They might still feel that sounds a little bit abstract and disconnected from the growth, from the new client coming in the door. If I'm correct in saying most of it's referral, right? Pretty much all of those customers. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, on how those were generated, you feel?
Yeah, I think, it's what we kind of try to, with the coaches, like just basically say, one is, the main goal is to deliver the best workout, a world-class workout. So how can we do that? Right. So we do that and also we've talked about this as well, is like what I've become aware of, even, it's also the experience of the workout. Right. So, we're kind of trying to dial that in even better with communication with the client, creating rapport, like going back to their why. What do you really want to get from this? Right. And so connecting with that, and then that leads to people being excited about their training. And then, and then just asking, just simply really not being aggressive with it, but listening, when someone says, hey, maybe this would be good for my wife or my friend or whatever, and say, hey, let's get them in for a demo and have them come and experience it as well. And then that's really, I would say, that's really from if you want to call it marketing or whatever, that's really what we've done. We really haven't done much otherwise in terms of marketing, but it's really the referral process that's helped us grow.
Yeah, you've done like basically no paid marketing, right? For the most part, is that fair to say?
I would say, yeah. We did some with the more with our jiu-jitsu program, but with our one-on-one training, really.
Yeah, which is very interesting, obviously. Yeah, so the key there really is working on that system for how you do the workout, right, end to end, in terms of the customer service experience. Even as simple as like how you welcome the client and shake their hand or whatever, through to how you carry out the workout. So you feel like standardizing that and really focusing on that. And again, the focus with quantified strength training has led to better experiences, which has led to more referrals.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And if I remember, in your team is quite skewed into. I know you got one team member in particular who's very good at generating those referrals. Is that the case that you've? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, give Lara a little shout out. She's probably got the most.
Yeah.
So, and some of her clients, so it's everybody's got different, and with my coaches, they also have different goals as far as, from a professional standpoint. So how many, we really only have, one other coach that's really interested in being full time right now. So, it's also kind of finding, like, for them, I still look at them, even though they're coaches, I still look at them as clients as well. So I always kind of go back to, like, what do you want from this as well? That's kind of how we started the whole process versus, again, it's a little bit different, I think, than most people put. Like, I didn't go out and, hire someone that I never met before and go through like a typical process. Like, I know you're going through, like, the hiring process, like with Luke. It's very different with how at this point, how we've done it. If we continue to grow, we may take that approach, So, but yeah, Larry does a great job with referrals, and we have other coaches that have gotten referrals too, and starting to see that more and more. But she's probably the number one as far as that. And she also does very good with the demo. She enjoys doing that, so she does a good job with that as well.
Got it. Okay. And it's also important to mention that all your clients are on auto pay, monthly recurring revenues.
We have a couple that aren't, but almost, I would say 95% at least are on auto
which is
pay.
an important distinction to make, because if they're on packages, that's not as, it's not to say it's not a good achievement. It's just it's much better if they're on, obviously, auto pay from a cash flow perspective, and for lots of other reasons as well, asset value. Yeah.
We look at it as like, too, is we want them to train. So, if they're on auto pay, like, you're paying for those sessions, well, look, let's get in, and then, because it's not helping you if you're not here to train. It's different if you're out of town, that sort of thing. But then we try to do makeup sessions if we can. But really, like, you're committing, and that's a part of it. That's kind of our little tagline, commit, show up, don't quit, be uncommon, be your best self. Commit, but you still got to show up.
Yeah.
So that's that the auto pay. I think I try to explain from a psychological standpoint too. Is they're committing to getting in that so many sessions per month.
Yeah, I mean, just not to tangent too much, but it's the same, if not easier, to sell than a package. And it means that, if someone does a package, they might only train so many times in the year, right? They're not going to, if they buy 10 sessions, you think they're going to take 10, if they're once a week, they're going to take 10 weeks? Probably not. Probably more like 15 weeks or 20 weeks. Right. So you're looking at much less revenue over time and less consistency with the customer, and having to also always resell that customer.
Yep.
So if it's just as easy, if not easier, to sell a monthly contract, then that's what we should all be doing.
And like I said, I look at it like you're saying, like a win-win. Like, it's good for the business, cash flow wise, but also for the client. I think mindset, like, it goes back to that commitment. Like, you're committing to doing this. That's the plan.
Yeah.
It's not to work out. You plan on doing once a week and you work out every other week, or you plan on doing 2 days a week and you only do once a week. So it kind of keeps them, I think, more on track with that, having the, set up that way as well.